Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is!
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Bola Bola Show podcast. On today's episode, we have a very special guest who is currently based, if I'm not wrong, he's currently based in Germany, but originally he's from Turkey, and currently he's holding the position as the national team head coach for Kenya. So, Bola Bola Show would like to welcome Coach Engin Fırat. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you guys.
Okay, Coach. Maybe you'd like to share a little bit about what that is currently that you're doing at the moment, from where you're based at the moment.
I'm now with my family in Turkey, Antalya. Like you said in the beginning, I'm traveling normally between Germany and Turkey. These are the two bases I have in my life. So my job is at the moment now Kenya national team. So therefore, as a coach, your life is more like a gypsy. You never know where you are tomorrow. So we are always traveling. And now at the moment, I have a few days for my family. And after this, I need again to make a program for the June matches and maybe also to see my players who play abroad.
So I just would like to know that at which point in your career where you felt that coaching is something you wish to pursue once your playing career is over?
Yes, when I started, I didn't have the chance to make a real football career. I had a problem with my knee. So therefore, I started very early with the coaching license. And I got directly after university, after I finished university, I got the opportunity to start in professional football. And I could even say I was very lucky to work with very experienced coaches, successful coaches, who give me ideas about professional football and more exactly about how to be a leader, how to find a way, even in difficult situations, to have a successful team. So this is the way it started, and I followed my way. I followed a different way to normally Turkish coaches. Why? Because Turkish coaches prefer to stay in their home country and to go from one team to another team. And this is what I wanted from my life. I wanted to see more. I wanted to play against the biggest teams in the world, against the biggest coaches, against the biggest players. So this is the reason why I tried always to be international, and I can say it worked quite well. And now I'm in a point where now I wanted to see also Africa, and it is also again a great experience for me. And I love what I'm doing, and it's going well.
Great, coach. Actually, why don't we just roll it back a bit? Okay, since you have decided to pursue coaching, but perhaps you can share with some of our listeners here. What about your background during your playing days? Because you also came from a playing background, right, coach? And maybe you can share like what positions you used to play, in football.
Yeah, I was a defensive midfielder on second division level in Germany. So if you are somebody like me with my character, I hate to lose. So therefore, it was for me not really satisfying to be a average player, let me say. And therefore, with this problem I had also, including with my knee, I wanted to come to the top level. If I cannot go as players and as coach, and this was one of the points which motivated me to go on. And I played in Osnabrück and then studied there directly too. So therefore, I think with already 23, I think I had my B license. I'm gone with 25 or 26 for the A license. So I get also all license in Germany very early, and was also very early focused to go on as coach. So this had some advantages and some disadvantages. The disadvantages are if you start so early and you don't have a big career as a player. So therefore, the teams, the professional teams don't know you. These people in media don't know you. So this doesn't help, to be honest. This makes even problems. But the positive sides, in this time, I was more focused then to learn the game, to have more influence in regarding science. So this helped me too much in my career. because some coaches who are coming only from football have problems to adapt to the modern football. This means especially with science, or regarding also with tactics, which are getting always more complicated. So therefore, my main motivation comes from that I was not happy that I'm not gone as a player to the level I wanted to be. So and therefore, one of the main points I have still now, my motivation is to come to the highest level. So I'm lucky with many points. For example, I played against the world champion when they was France. I played against European champion Italy. I played against Asian champion Qatar. In June, I will play against Africa champion Ivory Coast. I was national team coach in 3 different continents. So I can say easily, I was lucky in my way. And I had the chance to fulfill some of my dreams, but still there are a lot of dreams which I will follow up.
Lauren, which seems to be
Laurent,
very
yes.
synonymous in your journey towards becoming a head coach, as you have worked with him on several occasions. Could you share a little bit a story about him, the background, and did he play a huge influence in terms of your coaching methods and philosophy?
He had a huge influence on giving me the chance, because he
Okay.
trusted me very much, and he let me do everything in training, So therefore, I had the opportunity, even as a head coach, to work like as an assistant coach, to work like a head coach. This means everything he let me do. So what I have in mind, I never needed to talk to him about what I have in mind about training or organization or whatever. He make only the last decisions about the first 11. So therefore, I'm very thankful for this experience, because therefore I was early ready to be head coach. I had the experience, because the problem is for assistant coach generally, they never take the real decisions. They never need to make the hard decisions. This means also the negative decisions. Assistant coach will be never really criticized like a head coach, and this is the reason why many who are good assistant coach failed as head coach. So I had the experience very early, and this helped me very much in my future head coach decisions. Coming to the philosophy or the way of thinking of football, I have to say the biggest influence was with Josef Garabinski, a Czech coach, which where I could easily say he was very intelligent, and he was the one who inspired me most about football tactics. So therefore, in the end, I have to say I had very early my own mind, my own philosophy, my own thoughts. And I think this is also very important for a coach. You cannot copy somebody. You have to be yourself, because in the end, you have to make other people, this means players, clear about your mind and your thoughts. And this you can only do if it's 100% you and not a copy of someone.
Talking about your footballing philosophy, coaching philosophy, since you have been well traveled in many countries like Iran, Korea, now Moldova, and recently in Kenya. So what basically, how you manage it basically? What exactly is Engin Fırat coaching method?
My philosophy, mainly, I have something in mind that I don't want to, it doesn't matter how weak my team is, I won't always try to control the game. So this means people misunderstand it normally. So this means, for example, I played with Moldova against France in Paris. So controlling the game means France can have the ball, I don't care, as long I close the dangerous zone and as long I have the chance for my transition game. So, and for example, there we played the first 45 minutes, France didn't have one shoot on the target. So, and this is what I mean. They can have 80% of the ball, but as long as they don't have even a shoot on the target, this means the game is under my control, not their control. So this is a philosophy I have in every team I have. So, and then depends on the quality of the team. I put it in a shape. So, like how I want to play, because I can control the game when I'm weak, this transition game. But if I have a team where I have to push and pressure, then I play a very high contra pressing. So in same parts, the idea is the same, but how you use it is a totally different thing tactically. So the main idea, like I said, I never want to go by luck. My own thinking is always based how I come to this point that I control the game, and depends on the quality of my team. It is always different in a tactically way.
Anyway, coach, as someone who has been, you travel to so many different countries to work with, what is the most important method that you adapt? Is it more towards of getting the players to play according to your method or philosophy, or devising a plan based on the player that you have at your disposal?
It should be all around the world the same. There are only a few teams, like I would say, like Real Madrid, Manchester City for sure, where you can buy as coach these players which you need. So, as therefore, there you can come with your own philosophy, with your own system. But normally, it's only, I would say, 5-6 coaches who has the opportunity to do this. So normally, you have to go on what you have in your hands. So, for example, if somebody is saying, "Oh, I play tactically only with one center forward," but if I have in my team 2 very good center forwards, I would be idiot if I put one on the bench because only I'm thinking that it's my system. So from my side, it always depends on the quality I have in my hand. What is the best for the team to play? And this is what we call then tactic. So because in the end, the job of a coach is to find a way to be successful with the player quality he has. So, and I'm not one of these who are complaining. I'm trying always to find a way to use the quality I have the best way.
And now coming back to players, coach, from your perspective, right? What sort of characteristic, or main factor do you look for in a player? Would you always go for someone who is willing, a very willing player to learn, over ability? Maybe somebody already has a tactical skill, he is skillful and all that, but maybe his willingness is not really there because he thinks he is already very skillful and all that, or is it easier for you to develop a willing player?
In my eyes, it's always about the team. If I can put them like in a puzzle together, and if a very skillful team, if he can bring something to the team, of course I'm happy. But if you have a player who plays for himself and cannot use his skills for the team, then he will have a problem with me, because the only way to have success now in modern football is if you have a united team. This means like in a puzzle. So, because now we are in a situation where physically we are going to the limits, tactically we are going to the limits. So, very little details decide about the result. So, and there's no space anymore for players who have an ego and can go on with this ego and make problems to this team themselves. So, because there are, if you look now in modern football, there are not more so many players who can decide alone a game. So, and generally they are playing in the best teams in the world. So therefore, I think the most important part is how you put all these different characters, different qualities together to have a functional and successful team. And this is, like I said, also, it's not only about the football quality also. Sometimes it's also about the mentality of the players, if they are ready for this, if the ego is ready for this. So, and you have to decide which player you can mentally sometimes change. And if it doesn't make sense, or you cannot change a player mentally, and he has a bad influence on the team, then it's better to put this player out to save the team, because the reality is the results will bring only a real functional team.
And coach, you mentioned about modern football. So, modern football these days is very data driven. And what sort of approach or measure, are you taking personally for yourself, for your team, in engaging in terms of, for example, using artificial intelligence or data analytics in your coaching, in your coaching scheme?
Generally, I see that especially the younger generation, in my eyes, make one mistake. they are focused too much on analyzing the rival and forgetting in the same time to analyze themselves. So then my base is more, we have an analyzed team, and this analyzed team is working hardly about ourselves. So this means we have some online portals like Y Scout and other ones where you get anyway all data, all videos, everything you want. But still, I have my own team which analyze the games, makes all analysis about the all individual players to in this data which I want from them, because every player I see something different. So problems are different, and the positive sides are different, and I want always to have real data about it. So next to it, of course, everybody use GPS data, and this we use also till the last details. This means not only people are only thinking GPS data is about how many meters the players run. No, depends on the position, how many sprints, how long the sprints are, how in which tempo they are. So these are too many details where I always have a pool and put them together, and all my players in national team, because I don't have them daily. So they get every time after camp, after match, they get every time per WhatsApp all the data and all the videos, because for players it's easier visual to work than when I explain them. He will not so understand like I'm sending the video. Look, this is exactly the problem we have. So if they get everything, they know exactly what I expect from them or what they can do to get better, and which have also a better influence for the performance in their team. So therefore, for me, science is very important. Artificial science I didn't use because I don't believe so much in it. Because I think football is still to have a good eye for capacity and for talent. And this, you can have 1,000 coaches. This doesn't mean that they can see the real talent. So, and therefore, I don't believe that artificial intelligence can do it. So, therefore, I go on using science we have, but I trust more in my brains than in artificial science.
And Coach, speaking of data, because we understand that you also have been keeping an eye on footballers with Kenyan backgrounds from all over the world. So, what approach have you taken to look out for them, and how has the response been so far?
Yeah, for us, it's more difficult than the French-speaking countries. For the French-speaking countries, these people are going very early to Europe, and now they have, especially in France, it's for them like a supermarket. They can take players like they want from there. So for us, it's different. Why it's different? Because it's not many who are gone out. And also, it's not easy to find out who is really Kenyan origin, because they can be origin from Jamaica, from everywhere. The names are similar, whatever. So, or they even have very clear English names, which you cannot not understand. So, therefore, we have a problem to find everybody really who can play for Kenya. And the FIFA rule is not only if they are not born there, the parents or the grandparents, if they are born in Kenya, or it doesn't matter in which country, same belongs to Malaysia, they're able to play with this country. You see also, you have a lot of boys also from UK who are playing now for Malaysia, who have these connections. So to find this out is not easy. And the next problem is that some of them, for example, some in German Bundesliga, there's a boy, he has zero connection to Kenya. He played all the junior national teams in Germany, and he hopes for sure that he can play maybe later for Germany. So these boys, I can understand that they are not so much interested. Then there are other boys. We have, for example, in Denmark, a boy who directly wanted to come. And so therefore, it's always different. If they have still contact, this is something I would say personal feelings. If they have contacts with relatives or something with Kenya, of course they are interested to play for Kenya. But if not, it's not so easy. And plus, it is not like we have a lot of Kenyan origin players who are playing in high leagues or high important leagues in Europe. So therefore, it doesn't make sense in my eyes to bring a player from Europe who is, let's say, in the third division somewhere in Europe and who is not really better than any local young player. So therefore, I don't see any reasons then. So I try always to find a base where I can decide what makes more sense to invite whom. And if there are players, for example, even yesterday, I had to talk with a player who is playing in English Championship. I talked with him and his agent, and we will decide later how to go on. So it's not so easy like it sounds from outside. Not everybody takes this, like I said, not really, because if you don't have personal feelings for it, it's not really a honor, or you are not proud to play maybe for the national team, then it got in a way that it has to be make sense for them, you know. So therefore, I try to focus on the boys who are hungry and who wants to play. So therefore, I will go on like this, and I can say we have, especially in the last 1 year, we have a big success with this, and I hope it will continue like this.
Now let's now speak about the Kenyan national football team, the Harambee Stars. So, what are your short-term goals, coach, for this team? Let's say in the next 3 to 4 months that you have in mind for this Kenyan national team. And would you care to share with us the short-term goals? Let's say 3 to 4 months, your midterm, 6 months to a year, and what are the long-term, more than a year?
I need to update you. Till last year March, we had
Yes.
a 500 days ban from FIFA. There was no football,
Yes.
nothing.
Mm,
So
okay.
and so when we come back, and when I arrived, anyways, there was no national team. I cannot say I had any base or something, you know. When I came, they make a all-star team of the league and showed me the players. And it's 1 year ago, and none of them is in the national team now. So I started I would even say not by zero, by minus. So I needed to start and to make a plan. And I give the federation the plan that around in 2 years, I want to have a team. So because I didn't have nothing there. So I needed to start, and in every match, I needed to make all the time risk, because I needed always to try new players, because if you don't try, you will never know if it works or not. So the other thing, in training, you cannot give a guarantee for what happens under pressure in an official match. So in these plans, I didn't want to do it also like they have done before in Kenya. This means they played only against teams in Kenya around, or who are maybe not strong enough, and they played only at home, only to have some results. But this doesn't work. So what I have done is, from beginning, I played with them against World Cup teams. This means first match after this ban, we played in Tehran against Iran. We played in Doha against Qatar, against the Asia champion. We played in Antalya against Russia, the former European and Olympic champion. So because I believe it's very important for the self-confidence of the players, not to play against normal teams, also to play against good teams, to show yourself and to understand, you can do it. So, and if you have to think like this, if you compare, for example, with Malaysia, in Malaysia, you have a functional league, you have a good infrastructure and whatever, you invest in football. We don't have this in Kenya, nothing. So therefore, to come out with a team like Kenya, who nobody knows them exactly about football, and they have no results in the history, to come out there and to play this kind of games, and plus, because we don't have any FIFA-approved stadium, we play all the time away. So to build a team and to play all the time away against good teams, it's very tough, and the boys adapted very well. And it is we won in Doha against Asia champion Qatar 2-1. Against Russia, till the last minute, we was 2-1 in front, and they scored in the last minute for the 2-2. We won in the last year 5 away matches. So this never happened in the history of Kenya. So forget in 1 year. Nobody won 5 away matches as a coach, and I'd have done it in 1 year.
Wow.
So in the last 3 away matches, we win 3. We scored 12-1 goals. 12-1 goals. So these are things. Can you imagine this would happen in Malaysia in 1 year? Can you imagine what will happen? Yeah, he says they will. I think they will make a statue of me, Malaysia. So,
They,
but
yeah,
there you see we are going in a very good way, but
yeah,
in the same time, I don't see the same changes which I wished in the infrastructure. Till now we have not one FIFA approved stadium. I have to play again in June, again away from Kenya. Till now I don't have a good training field for the national team. So the basics are still missing. So therefore, I can only say that my plans are going well, but I can't say that the other plans are going well, which are not in my hands. So these are the problems I have. Otherwise, I can easily say what I have done because I needed to build up in short term a team to play. In long term, I want to have a team which knows how to play, to pass. For example, there are moments where we played, for example, away against Qatar, where we have, I think, more than 25 passes in a row, and we break all the time the pressing of Qatar. So there you see these things are changing inside of the team. And in long term, of course, I'm trying to put more quality in this team. This means like foreign-based or foreign origin players, or I'm traveling till now. I'm even to villages where I find boys. Last two matches, one boy played. He's 19 years old. I let him play in the first 11 in two matches. Who had only 5 matches in the Premier League of Kenya, and I let him directly play. So these are always big risk. I'm not never afraid to take big risk. Only big risk bring also, I would say, also the big results. So therefore, from my side, everything, the plans I had are going well. Everything what I have promised to Kenyan people, I have done. To be honest, also, if the other steps are not done, like infrastructure and so on, then of course we will be limited, and this will be bringing a problem with me.
You mentioned about the 500 days whereby Kenyan football has been banned by FIFA. So, what is the current ecosystem like within Kenya in terms of the football? I mean, whether is the league is back, whether other clubs are still functioning and all that?
But there's a problem. Main problem is if you never go outside of your country, you cannot compare yourself with others. Because if you don't have a good field, how you play football, how you pass, so then you don't need to wonder if the teams in the league play all the time long ball and go for rebound. Because if you try to pass on this kind of fields, you lose the ball after 2 seconds. So, and also the stadiums, and of course, if you put all together 500 days without football, no really quality in football. Therefore, there's no chance that really sponsors are coming to the league. And if you don't have any sponsor, what happens? There's no money. The quality is going again down. The players are not paid, and so on and so on. And now I think it's now 3 or 4 months that we have a TV producer who start to show the matches. But even there, it's a company from Tanzania, also not from Kenya. So this is, for me, it's a little bit sad. Why sad? Because Kenya is a very big country. It's a very strong country. And I think when I'm back, anyway, I will have new meetings with our minister. And I hope in future, because our minister is someone who wants to change things, someone who has vision. And I hope with his support, we will change this point too. Because you cannot survive in long term if your league has not let's say, minimum average infrastructure so that talents can be developed. I give you one example more, which is till now for me not understandable. The Premier Leagues in Kenya, I think only two or three have a youth department. The other ones don't have any youth teams. Can you imagine how you survive in football? No way.
No, among all the countries you have played and coached, which experience had a lasting impact on you personally and professionally? I think one of the examples I can give, maybe the match against France. I think that was a good impact you had towards the world champion. So, is there anything else, or you think that is a profound experience you ever had?
No, this, as a coach, you change not so much. You change more as a person. So I learned a lot in Iran to be more patient, because if you come from a country like, for example, Germany, where everything is perfect organized, and I could even say Turkey is also very good organized in football, then you change. You see different things. You see a different life, different way of living. You get more calm. You get more patient. So, and here I think it's like, for me as a person, I got now a doctor diploma in Kenya, to get very calm, to not to get crazy for every problem, to focus on the right things which are more important. Otherwise you get sometimes crazy in Africa, because organizations sometimes bring problems which you cannot even imagine. But now I'm more, I don't get angry. My brain is only focused on directly on the solution. So, and this has all impact on your team, because the most important thing is that the team sees that the coach is totally under control of everything, that he's a real leader, that he never give up, that doesn't matter how much people even criticize him or attack him, that he don't care really, that he's only focused on his boys. And like I said, if you play big games, and for Moldova it's a big game to play against France. For Kenya it was very big game to play against Qatar. But if the boy sees how much self-confidence a coach has, and when I explain them everything, how the game will be and how we will win, and after the game the boy sees that every word I said it come true, so then you see that the things are changing. So, and this is what I mean about you change as a person. You are not more focused on details on the training, which are important, but you understand that other things are more important. So this means, for example, you have totally different characters where you have to deal with them, and to understand, like a father, to whom you can be hard, or whom you have to hug, whom you have to support, whom you have to kick in your ass. So these are the things which change really. And I mean, this is more changing of a person, not really tactically or from training. There are not so many things which really have an impact on you with time. For example, I give you one example. If I go directly from Germany to Malaysia, I will have problems to understand the culture, the people, and whatever. But now, for me, if I go in any country in the world, after a short time, I know exactly what is going on and how I have to handle the boys. If you don't know how to handle the boys, and culture is a very important part of the story, then anyway, football is not possible.
It's interesting that you mentioned Malaysia, coach. I mean, the fact that, you've been well-traveled all around. Has there ever been an opportunity that was handed over to you to come over to Malaysia, or even in this part of the world, in Southeast Asia, for a coaching job and all that in previously?
Yes. To be honest, if you are international coach and you see that I have a success, I have a result, it's quite normal that all around the world they are coming to you. And I'm now more than 20 years coach, so therefore it's quite normal that I think in nearly every part of the world, sometimes there are countries where I have to check where this country is sometimes when they call me. It's a very good feeling, to be honest, that people recognize you all around the world. And also, of course, from Malaysia, there was club teams till now. But like I would say always, it is always a question of timing. So this means at this moment, this means you have to be free, and this offer has to make the most sense to yourself. So then you decide for this and go for this. So therefore, I don't know if it will happen in future, but I was also in Kuala Lumpur. I like Malaysia very much. I saw the national team. I know the national team very well. I was also at the Asia Cup in Doha. I saw the matches of Malaysia there. I saw the squad and everything. So I have a quite good knowledge about your team. And even in last year, I think September or October, we talked with Malaysia about the friendly match, but they was thinking to make a program like playing one match in Egypt and the second one against us, but in last minute it was cancelled. So therefore, I don't know, maybe in future we will play also against Malaysia. and I don't know what will bring the future for me. We will see.
I mean, if that match ever happens, we hope to meet up with you when you come down over here with the Kenyan national team. Who knows?
Yes, but I will have bad news. You have no chance against me.
Okay, all right. All right.
So don't be angry after the match.
Oh, no worries, coach. No worries.
You're building, coach. You're building a very strong team. Actually, in fact, I wanted to mention that as well. Your World Cup qualifiers. I would say the match against Gabon maybe was a bit unlucky to lose that game, and then of course the Seychelles game you did very well. There are two very big upcoming games, coach, in June. Especially the second one or the fourth game for you, which is against the AFCON champions, Ivory Coast. So this will really be very interesting for you to move into this stage in June, coach. So what are your preparations for these upcoming games?
The problem with teams like Kenya is that still there are some players which I cannot change from quality, and if 2-3 of these players are missing, you have big trouble. So it is really serious problems anyway if you play in high level. So we was, for example, when we played Gabon and Seychelles, I don't know how it happened. For example, this team which played against Qatar, this means goalkeeper, right back, and both central defender, left back. All of them was injured. So don't ask me how this can happen, but it happens. It's football. So I have to play these important matches then with a totally new team as a defense line. Totally new goalkeeper, new central defender, new right and left back. So there we have a problem if you don't have teams like Kenya. They don't have the same quality, So if Joseph Okumu, who is playing in France, who is missing a central defender, you have a problem. If Marcelo, our left back, is missing, I have a problem. So therefore, it is for me very important that my boys are healthy. If our team is healthy in June, this is the main point I have. So the second point I have is I need to have a good organization, because some leagues are finishing in the first week of May, some in the last week of April, and these matches are in June. So therefore, I need to find a way that these boys don't make so much holidays and are not fit to play the match. So this organization is not easy for us, and I will see how to handle it. But if everything is going well and if the boys are healthy, I'm very hopeful that we will win these two matches, and this will have a big impact not only in Kenya, also in all Africa, because everybody is now following us in Africa, what is going on there. And if we are able to beat also the African champion, I think this will have a big impact.
Yeah, we really look forward to that, to that game, coach, and we'll be, rooting for your team.
Yep. I just noticed that the match against Qatar, which Kenya won 2-1, took place at the Al Janoub Stadium, the very same stadium when I was there in January to watch Malaysia drew 3-3 with South Korea. So was that the game that you watched, coach?
Yes, I was there. I was in all three matches.
Oh, okay. So what is just briefly, what is your view on the national team based on what you've seen?
To be honest, I was a little bit surprised about 2 points. I didn't expect that you had already so many foreign-based players. So this brings now more physically more for the team. You are more able to let me say, also to change the tactic this way, to play also more aggressively. This brings advantages. But I was a little bit shocked about the first game tactically, because everybody in Asia knows that Jordan is playing a very good transition game. And I couldn't understand how Malaysia could play so open. And it's quite normal that they're going to destroy you. So, and also the second game was more controlled. Let me say like this. I think Malaysia had the quality to go out of the group, but they finished last. And if you're happy with the 3-3 against South Korea, I have to say, I think South Korea was from football side, one of the biggest disappointments of the tournament. This is also the reason why South Korea changed the coach, Klinsmann, directly. after this because South Korea played, in my eyes, a very bad tournament from football side. I don't mean results. So therefore, I think you could have better results at the Asia Cup because now, before everybody was complaining about especially that you are physically not strong enough to play this game. But now I can easily say you have a lot of technically fast players, local players, and combined with the foreign-based players, I think now you are in a situation where I think, in my eyes, you should be more competitive than before. And especially also when I see clubs like Johor, how much they invest and how much they bring also good foreign players who are staying long time in Malaysia, I think there should be a stronger or better results for the Malaysian national team in future.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Coach. Many thanks, Coach. Many thanks for all your input and, able to spend this time to answer all our questions and, be a part of our podcast. So any last words from yourself, Coach, before we wrap up the show?
No, thank you very much, guys. It's always good to talk to people all around the world because it's a nice part of to be a head coach or coaches that you have friends all around the world, and it's always good when you travel somewhere. If there are people it's always good. Therefore, my best regards to everybody in Malaysia and good luck for all teams there.
Thank you so much, Coach. Okay, guys, any last word from yourself?
Yeah, I just want to thank Coach for coming on board our podcast today. Appreciate it, sharing all your insights, and we look forward. If you come to Malaysia, despite you bringing the bad news for us up front, but we'll be ready.
Yeah. No, I need to say it from beginning before you have the wrong hopes.
Okay, Vala, yourself?
For my end, I think I really had a good time and really honored to be Engin Fırat was in our podcast. Thanks for your time, and we're really wishing you good luck in your upcoming World Cup matches.
Okay, folks, with that said, we will wrap up this week's episode of the Bola Bola Show podcast. Thanks for listening. Till next time, goodbye.